Hello, good morning. Today we're doing my nails. I'm very excited. I bought this nail kit on an impulse. I was intrigued by an Instagram ad. Normally they don't get me, but this one did because it claimed that I could have beautiful nails at home. And this has not been something I've ever been able to achieve. So I was like, oh my God, like, do I care that I'm spending 60 pounds? No. Am I gonna have beautiful nails? Yes. We don't know if that's true yet. So today we're going to test out this kit and also have just like a little chatty time. I'm excited. I hope you're excited. So I haven't actually even opened any of this, so we can do a little unboxing together. So I bought the Sassy Saints nail manicure set. Now, of course, the moment I bought this, I was then fed all the other brands that do the exact same thing. So, you know, you open it up and it goes, ain't no time for social activities tonight, doing my nails, bye. Well, not tonight, but today, doing my nails, bye. Comes like a little magazine thing. That's quite cute. Like, that's a nice little touch. Don't wash your hands 60 minutes before the application. Yeah, that's impossible for me. It says start by using the fine side of the nail file and file your nails into their desired shape. So these are what we're working with at the moment. Not very good at filing nails, so like maybe I'll do a little bit more. I think you're only supposed to file one direction, but that takes a long time. I don't know if this is a toolkit for someone who's impatient. How are you guys? I hope you're well. I told myself I would treat this as a bit of a therapy session. I wanted to bring you into the light a little bit more. If you have watched my past two videos, then you may have noticed that I just made reference to the fact that I have OCD, which is one of the reasons why, or not one of, but the reason why there's no way I can go an hour without washing my hands. I'm currently getting therapy for it, and it's been going well. I think I have lived with this for so long that I'm quite resistant, and my therapist kept asking me like, what do you do when you feel anxious? And I honestly don't know, because I never let myself get to that point of anxiety. Instead, I just do my compulsions, and those can be like mental compulsions, they could be physical things, they can look like a very stereotypical organizing of the space, but at least for myself, I found that the stereotypical, like making sure things are lined up straight and that sort of stuff, is not where I struggle at all. And in fact, keeping my space clean is actually more of a struggle for me, because my main theme is contamination. So I have a deep rooted idea in my head that thoughts contaminate things. And when I mean contaminate, I mean if I'm wearing a specific piece of clothing and a thought pops into my head, or I'm in a particularly vulnerable position surrounding some of my obsessions, so some of my obsessions are things like death, then those clothes become contaminated and I have to take them off, I have to change. In some scenarios, I have to shower, but those clothes, regardless of how long I've worn them for, are then dirty. So that's why I have such a problem with laundry, and especially when you're sharing a space with someone and when you have a very small laundry machine, it's been a challenge for sure. And I would love to sit here and say that I've been really trying hard to not do as much laundry. The reality is I haven't really been putting in as much effort as I should be, and it's just because I've spent so long living this way. I've spent so long just giving into my compulsions and making myself feel better, so I'm never in a state of discomfort. And that's not to say that I'm never in a state of discomfort. There's many times when I can't do my compulsions, and so the discomfort is extreme. I feel for Clay in the fact that, not that he has to deal with me per se, but to a certain extent, yeah, he does. And the laundry and the mess, because I'll just take off my clothes and just throw it in the corner and then they won't get touched for days because I feel like I can't touch them, definitely puts some pressure on him. It'd actually be interesting to see what he thinks about it all, because we've been together for 6 years and I've had this for the past 10 years, and I've been medicated since knowing him. Back to my therapy, that is one thing that I find amazing about the UK. When I'm over here and I'm living down south, I'm able to get free therapy. So Currently, I'm working with a student. It's been great. Like, I have 6 sessions up front, or even 8 sessions maybe, and then they kind of consider where you are and like how much more support you might need, and then they just add on to it if need be. When you have to pay for something, you feel a lot of pressure to be happy with who you're matched with. You feel a lot of pressure to almost tick a box rather than actually go into it with an open mind. It's more, it has to work. I think this time around, maybe I'm just in a better headspace. Maybe I prefer this mode of therapy better, but it's been going pretty well. We have recently done a exposure chart or something where basically I listed my most difficult exposure, and when I speak about exposures, I mean the treatment for OCD. It can be various things, but I'm currently in a ERP type of situation, exposure response therapy, and it's basically where you expose yourself to anxiety-inducing situations and you don't do the compulsion. And it's very difficult. In your head, you can be like, oh yeah, I can do that, it's no problem. But the reality is different. So I made a list of things that like would be the most difficult at the moment, and then things that are a little bit less difficult. And at the moment, I'm working on washing my hands less. The safety behaviors of rinsing my hands when I have a thought, we are trying to curb that away, and I'm not allowed to do that. It's hard to reflect on it when you're still in it, you know? Like, it's hard to reflect on whether or not I'm actually doing better at this, or if I'm just kind of saying to myself that I'm doing better. I'm really trying this time because it's not just my life that I have to consider anymore. I don't live by myself anymore, and I can't completely take over things. That's where we're at the moment. Anyway, that was a bit deep. But sometimes you gotta get there, right? Just know that we're all human, you know? So there was a point in my life when I never spoke about this. So don't think that I've always been this open and comfortable with it. There has been a huge chunk of my life in high school where I never acknowledged it. And whenever I got into these like periods of being stuck, I'd have a thought and I couldn't do my compulsion. I would really go inside of myself and I wouldn't speak. I would, you know, be super quiet. I would be short with people, like it just completely opposite to what my personality was. And my friends started to notice and they didn't like it. I remember thinking, oh, I'm hiding this so well. If you're in a similar position to me right now, just know that things do get better. I think for myself, I had to get up to a point where I recognized something was wrong, and as much as I wish it had happened sooner, it didn't happen third year university, and that's when I finally was like, I can't keep living like this, and finally went to get some help. But you know, if you're in a place where you feel like there might be something going on with you, I really urge you to find the help sooner than I did, because it's so much easier to change your thought patterns when you're young and when it's the start of something. And I think even 5 years ago, the discussion around mental illness was so different, whereas now it is so accepted and understood by the general population that I would only hope that, you know, you would find nothing but support and kindness if you were to seek for help. I'm just giving you all the strength. If you're someone who needs it right now, I see you, and you deserve to give yourself a little bit of grace, and you also deserve to get the help you need.